guys, welcome to my ZIMALETA channel. This one is going to be about question and answer. So I actually wanted to answer some questions that I had for one of my viewers. I hope you guys could hear me okay, and I hope the video is much better, because guess what? I got my Note 7. This is what I'm doing the video on, and I'm using actually my front camera, and I'm using an external mic, as you can see it. This is the one I told you guys a while back that I actually made this one myself. Very simple. I just cut off the headphones, and there it is right there, just the microphone portion left. So that works pretty good, and I'm also using like a Bluetooth type of earpiece, which is not really, should not really do anything plus or minus. This is just for the phone calls. But anyways, for one of the users and for many other listeners out there, I'm pretty sure you have a 2007 model, and as you notice, my channel does not really have anything about 2007 Sprinters and up, okay? The 6-cylinder engine. However, I used to own a 6-cylinder 2007 type of version Sprinter, which is a 3.0 6-cylinder Sprinter. And I could just kind of tell you guys a little bit from my experience of owning one, what problems did I experience and what mileage that I did experience, and kind of like overall what I think about the vehicle, okay? So I actually drove the 2007 model in 2007. I bought it when it was brand new from the dealer. Immediately after 40,000 miles, I got a check engine light that was on. And of course, at the time, I had a warranty and everything. And I didn't know nothing about Sprinters, okay? I was just like some of you guys out there. I'm sure some of you guys know exactly what the heck is going on. You maybe just, want to watch because you're automotive type of guy, do it yourself. Maybe pick up a few new tips, because we all learn from each other. It's a given. But at the time, I knew gasoline cars. I just didn't know nothing about diesels. And, well, guess what? The dealer did not either. At 40,000 miles, I had a check engine light on, and here I am with a brand new Sprinter. It sucked. It was pulling really bad up the hills, especially when I would go through like Tennessee or Virginia, West Virginia type of mountains, including some South and North Carolina mountains. It was horrible. Not counting California, like that would have been even worse. Lucky me, I just drove on East Coast pretty much. I did go to California on several occasions. But guys, I would take it to the dealer, and they're literally like, oh, we don't know, pretty much type of deal. And they didn't fix it. And guess what? After my warranty expired, I took it there again, and guess what? All of a sudden, they knew what was going on. They're like, oh, it's going to be a $3,500 part. And I'm like, what? What the heck? Like, what is it? Excuse me, I know it's shaking. Okay, I'm hoping this might be a little bit better, because my phone was like rocking a little bit more, and I'm thinking it's because of the holder. But anyways, when I took it there, when my warranty was out, all of a sudden they told me $3,500 for the part, plus labor, plus tax. And that was $3,500 then. That part is a little bit more expensive now. And you're wondering what part it is? That's actually called particulate filter. And you have them starting from 2007.
Turn right on Columbia Road.
You have them starting from 2007 through 2013. And pretty much even after that. I'm just saying 2013, but because in 2014 they came out with 4-cylinder model, which is kind of irrelevant. It has a 2 because it's an EPA type of standards. So that's the part I really hate. This is why I'm driving 2006 version Sprinter versus 2007, because I got a 5-cylinder diesel. The only EPA stuff on here is having a EGR, which is compared to that, it's like a $350 part versus $3,500. So sometimes I'm wondering, are they really concerned about the air, or are they really concerned about making money on you? Because it's one thing when it's a catalytic converter, okay? I've never taken one apart, so I really can't say. But as far as I know, people steal catalytic converters because they have precious metals inside, like gold, rhodium, some platinum. Why would you put those metals in there? Beats me, but apparently that's what it is. This is why sometimes you would hear, so many brand new Toyotas were parked at a, some kind of like a shipping yard, when they were shipped, from like Japan or something, and somebody cut off all the catalytic converters and they just sold them. This is why when you're trying to take your, like at a junkyards and stuff, like you could sell them and stuff like to those places and to some other places, like for $50 sometimes for your used catalytic converters, and they'll buy them because they take them apart and they get all the precious metals out of them, So anyways, the particulate filter does not have any precious metals inside. However, it does have what looked to me like two sensors, one in the front, one in the back, okay? One of them looked like it had a lighter on there. Maybe it was a lighter, maybe it just looked like a sensor, because it was like a little long tube and it had like a bunch of holes in there. It resembled, sort of like, looks like a lighter. And the reason I'm saying that is because the way the catalytic converter is designed to work is it's also got two diesel tubes that goes like kind of like in the center, and then they connect to the actual system. That's not a catalytic converter, it's particulate filter. What it does is, what it's supposed to do is trap all of your smog and stuff, like all the diesel stuff. It traps all the diesel stuff basically, and that stuff, like right there, like whenever your diesel's working, this is why like the EGRs, they get like so much gunk on there. It catches all that stuff in a particulate filter, and once it gets so bad, like to the point where I don't know, like your computer, like with those sensors, will be able to tell, okay, things are not, like exhausts are really not circulating properly. So what's going to happen is it's going to trigger this little thing where it's going to send 1 gallon of diesel into the particulate filter, and by doing that, it basically catches it on fire and then burns everything off. But what happens to the ash? It stays behind. Okay, so what's gonna happen next time? You're gonna build up that gunk and that like kind of like tarish type of stuff, from your exhaust. Well, it's just gonna go ahead and get together with the ash. It's going to start burning it up again, creating more ash. It doesn't have anywhere to go to. And if you ever took one of those things out, you will see it's got very tiny holes. They're much smaller than even like a catalytic converter holes. So it is no wonder that they get clogged up. And they do get clogged up all the time, okay? Everybody has those issues. Everybody, okay? Since I was driving this thing, just to go a little bit away, kind of like from the story, I would fuel up at the gas station and stuff, and I see other Sprinter owners like that. They pull up beside me, they're fueling up and whatever, and we start talking, and they're like, how do you like your model? I'm like, okay, it's this. And I'm like, how do you like your model? They're like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. And you know how many times I heard of this before? They just really didn't like it at all. I'm like, well, what's going on? They're like, oh, it's weak. It does this. This is my third time. I had my EGR replaced. And I'm thinking, EGR? Why is it like, it's still kind of like a brand new vehicle. Why are they throwing EGRs at it? He's like, yeah, like they said, the EGR went out and they put a new EGR, but the problem continues. Of course it's going to continue. The EGR is the cheapest part out there that they could replace, and it used to be the problem for 2004 to 2006. If it doesn't pull, yeah, it's EGR. But it looks like the old mechanics is using old tricks to fix the system versus thinking of a new way that, it actually takes particulate filter to fix. So, okay, so now you know actually how this thing works. You kind of understand this. Well, actually, I'm making a video. I didn't know that you called me. Yeah. How long? Okay. So, anyways, I actually just called somebody by accident, or they called me, and I was making a video, and they were listening to me on the other line. It's one of my good friends. But he was like thinking I'm talking to him, because obviously, who would I talk to like this? You guys, or maybe like a phone call, because I'm being serious about this, okay? So, anyways, the dealer wanted to charge me $3,500 for the particulate filter. Oh yeah, it was $3,800. Excuse me. They were giving me a discount of $3,500. I just remembered. Okay, they were giving me a discount. They're like, okay, we could discount like $300, and I really had to run around over there to try to find out. I'm like, it's still too much money. I'm not gonna pay you $3,500 for it. So, I'm like, okay, so like how much are you gonna charge me for labor? And they didn't say, but he said, you know, it's not so much the labor, it's just the part, and they're right, you know, because it's only 2 clamps to really remove it, then a couple sensors and a couple little fuel lines. That's it. So I told the guy, he's kind of like me, you know, same, you know, he's got a wife, he's got a couple kids, just like I do, and I told that guy, you know, I'm like, look, between me and you, can I just get rid of that little thing? You know, I don't want it. He's like, well, you can't. I wish you can, but you really can't. I'm like, why? He's like, you know, your engine's going to be fluttering all the time. It's going to be like misfiring. It's going to be doing this, that. You know, he looked like a nice guy to me, you know, and maybe he was. That was complete bullcrap. That was just really misleading, really misleading. So I kind of believed him, okay, but I never take any word as the last type of word, you know, when somebody actually mentions something like this, okay. So I wasn't gonna take his word for it. So okay, you know, he cleaned the system for me. So okay, it lasted for another couple of days. You know, the Sprinter finally started driving a little bit better. I had a fuel economy gauge, okay, showing like it's a little bit more economical. Okay, well, in a couple of days, guess what? My check engine light is back. It's not pulling anymore. And guys, you know how bad it really gets? You know what's bad when you're standing on straight road and you got a light and you're really slow. Like you can't really take off like at all. Like, I mean, I'm talking about really slow acceleration. Like you're barely pulling, you're barely moving. I'm serious. It got to that point. That's how bad it was for me. Okay.